6 years ago, we created that we wanted to adopt a child. Didn't happen. We let go of it, and we just went on about our life and had a great life. 10 weeks ago, we got a call from basically this little child to say, I'm here, come get me. We went and got him, in a nutshell. Who is he? I mean, when I look into his eyes, there are more.
Well,
he's leading edge, isn't he?
For sure, for sure. And he's been in your vibrational escrow and you in his. And so here is Esther's favorite new word that she has coined as we've been presenting her with the vibrational essence of this: convergence. Convergence. There is a converging of vibrational equivalency. That's what's going on, you see. And the reason that it feels so good to you, you see, in order for you to rendezvous with that pure energy, you had some moving downstream to do, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Quite a bit.
And so once you moved into alignment, then universal forces said, oh, there. Isn't it nice? It's sort of everything's over there in your vibrational escrow, but until you get within range of it, you don't even know it's there. And that's why, oh, it's so hard to see other people living the manifestations of things that you want when you're not yet living them. And then as you keep reaching for thoughts that feel better and reach for thoughts that feel better and tune yourself more consistently into alignment with what's in your vibrational escrow, all of a sudden you start seeing things and you say, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. And when it happens, it seems so easy. And you say, man, it's so easy. And then the next thought often is, why was it so hard for so long before it got easy? And we say, because there was a vibrational journey that was necessary before the action part of it began to appear so easily.
But it's almost 2 years had passed, we hadn't even thought of it. I mean, it was just...
That helped, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because every time you picked up that stick, you beat the drum that said, it's not happening. It was ready to happen, but it's not happening. And there's something else really worth saying. We really want you to hear this. We don't want to give you the impression that during those 2 years you were doing something wrong and therefore it couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. You were still adding to vibrational escrow. You were still shoring up what you wanted. You were still in the state of becoming who you are. In other words, were on your way to the convergence of that. We want you, all of you, to relax in the attitude that you need to micromanage these convergences. You don't need to micromanage them. Micromanage the way you feel. Micromanage the way you feel and let everything else take care of itself. Do you get it that life causes you to put the stuff in escrow? In other words, do you get it that you do not need to sit? We don't need to have a seminar where we say, all right, here's 500 pieces of paper, page 1, what do you want relative to anything? 500 pages of what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? Because there are billions of pages already written over there in vibrational escrow that your life has put there. The universe knows what you've been asking for, and you've put it there precisely and incrementally over a long period of time. Some of it you put there even before you stepped into this body. Nice to know that, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's over there, and it's not just over there limply. It's not in a U-Haul trailer. It's not in some obsolete storage facility. It's not in a hermetically sealed plastic bag. It's over there, vibrationally alive and active, because the larger part of you is already being it and living it and loving it.
Nice.
Don't you ever have those feelings of deja vu? Mm-hmm. That's just you finally catching up with something that the bigger part of you has already lived. Convergences that have already been, you see. So then, as you don't think about something for 2 years, because every time you thought of it, it took you to a negative place.
It didn't feel good, right?
As you don't think about it, then you don't beat the negative drum of it, and as you are blissing out of one thing, blissing out on another, looking for positive aspects of this, appreciating your life relative to that, you allow yourself to begin moving in the direction of what's there. And then you start seeing evidences of it. You start getting phone calls, things begin to manifest. Whatever it is that you're wanting is there for you.
Yeah, it started to come close, and it got negative. We were having issues with the mother and legal stuff, and we called up, I think the day after Christmas, and said, we're not doing this, no. If you guys get together and decide you want someone to take this child, we're here. And we backed away and went on about Christmas and New Year's, and 3 days later, they called and said, come get him. We're going to allow this to happen rather than us struggle to get it to happen. It was very interesting. It's like, whoa.
Well, it's nice to know that wherever anything is, it's never finished. And we think that that's one of the things that sort of trips you all up. For example, you might find someone and you say, this is the love of my life. I see so many things and I will love you forever and ever and ever. And then life causes something to happen where you get another glimpse. And then you say, oh, wait, you don't bring me flowers anymore. Oh, wait, you don't feel about me the way you once did. And we say, every creation is still alive and active and has the potential for movement. And nothing will stand still. So everything that you care about, because it's alive and active, you're still going to keep giving birth to it. And so now you have this relationship. You see, this relationship with this child, this magnificent child, is surer now than it was before because of that opportunity for that experience.
Yeah.
And even if other things come up, it does not matter. Don't stand in tension and worry about anything. Instead, acknowledge that you are moving, fluid, flexible beings who are always having opportunities to get clearer and clearer and clearer about what you want. That's the joy of life. We promise you, none of you ever want to stand still. And you know why we know that? Every time things get sort of stable and peaceful, you do something to stir them up. You do. Every single one of you does. You would rather have negative emotion than no emotion. Because in negative emotion, you can feel the movement of things again, you see. So just know nothing stands still and that it's fun to keep them going, and apply your thoughts every day to the things that matter to you most. Think about the things you want in this attitude of appreciation. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be writing books and books and books and books of positive aspects about anything that matters to you. We would not leave anything out. We would appreciate the highways. We would appreciate the cruise lines. We would appreciate the infrastructure of your nation. We would appreciate the food supply. We would appreciate the water supply. We would appreciate the planet itself and how it spins in perfect proximity. We would appreciate our employment. We would appreciate our relationships. In other words, we would just pick things out all day, every day. And every day we would sit at least for 10 or 15 minutes. And we would make lists of things that we appreciate. And in times when we are bored and don't have anything to do, we would leaf through that book and we would reactivate within ourselves the things that we appreciate. Because all day, every day, life's going to cause you to have contrasting experiences that keep throwing improvement into your vibrational escrow. And if you keep tuning yourself to the positive aspects of your life, then you stay up to speed with what life keeps throwing over there. Do you know? The majority of those of you who are here in this room are at such a place where life's filling your vibrational escrow steadily. And in applying two processes, one which is rampages of appreciation and the other is the book of positive aspects, you could, with those two simple processes, tune yourself to all that your life is delivering to you. Such a simple understanding. Esther said to Jerry, even as they were having breakfast this morning, it's so simple, it makes you wonder why you ever fixate on anything and hold it long enough to even allow negative emotion to be produced within you. It's so simple. And then she said, negative emotion is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, and turned right back downstream with it.
I think we forget that contrast leads towards improvement.
Always. An expansion. Always. What happens, and this sort of comes to the conversation that we had earlier today, where there is this false impression that you're reaching for a standard that you're trying to maintain. And so that makes you afraid to move for fear you will lose your connection with that higher standard. But when you get your sea legs, when you begin to relax and understand that you can always find your way, because there are only two choices, feel better or worse, that's all. Those are your choices, feel better or worse. So no matter what life deals you, you have a choice to feel better or worse. Once you get on that understanding, then life is really fun. And then you stop tensing against things. You don't say to someone, oh, you've ruined my life. You take your power back. You say, it doesn't matter what you do. You don't have control over the way I feel. I have control over the way I feel. Esther's discovered through this last experience that one of the things that she was saying on a regular basis and didn't even know she was saying it, and it was a crippling thing, it was not serving her well at all. She would say, I would never do that. And then she would laugh to Jerry and say, and I get to set the standard for everyone, right? I am the one who gets to choose what everyone should or should not do. And suddenly it occurred to her, she doesn't get to choose for anyone else. And her attempt at saying, my standard is the right one and you're not meeting my standard, she was doing what everybody else seems to be doing about demanding conditional love. And when she finally got her thoughts wrapped around that, no matter who you are, you have no responsibility to do what I want you to do. I have responsibility to think about what I want to live. And when you get that, you're finally free. And until then, you're in bondage. Because you can't control those buggers, because you know what? They think they're in charge of their lives.
Wow. I feel a lot calmer. I mean, it's like, whew, my feet are back on the ground. On a real personal note, you knowing me and knowing this little love child, words of wisdom specifically.
Say again?
You knowing me and our little love child, words of wisdom as far as parenting or directing or helping or assisting in raising this child.
Relax, follow your natural instincts, and be who you are. And don't try to perform for this child. Because the whole of who you are is who rendezvoused with him. In other words, you've rendezvoused, which means, and we love how you call him a love child. You know what that makes you? A love child. How could you rendezvous if you were not vibrationally compatible? Now you see, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because you see him and you see this perfection of a being that he is. What's that say about you and you? What's that say about all of you? It says, this is who we are. You know why he's come to you? To reflect back through his eyes who you are. We talked about Jerry reflecting back the power of this young man to him, and he never forgot it. He said to Esther, I have loved Jerry Hicks my entire life because he helped me to discover who I am. So this little one looking at you is reflecting back to you the perfection of who you are. You think the responsibility is yours. He came to remind you how good you are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, on the day that you call him a little devil, we'll have a different discussion, won't we?
Right. Thank you.
Unimaginable.